don't know how much longer Jonathan Majors is going to be part of any Hollywood scene. It seems like every day, every hour, something else drops off of his plate, something lucrative. So here's what's going on. Majors has been dropped by his management team, which is huge, his publicist as well. And now another blow for the Creed 3 star, Jonathan Majors, amid domestic violence charges that we've been detailing for you, the allegations. More and more projects are severing ties with the actor, despite text released from his criminal defense attorney. Remember those? That showed the woman he had the altercation with seemingly taking the blame for their fight. Jonathan Majors has been dropped from a slew of projects since, we're learning on good authority, including Protagonist Pictures, the feature adaptation of the Walter Mosley novel, The Man in My Basement, an ad campaign for the Texas Rangers Major League Baseball team, as well as an unannounced film, fifth season's Otis Redding biopic, which the Emmy-nominated actor was circling. All great projects. Now, Majors is facing domestic violence allegations out of New York City after a March 25th incident involving a dispute with a 30-year-old woman. The unnamed victim was taken to the hospital with minor injuries to her head and neck, according to authorities at the time of the incident. Majors is scheduled to appear in court on May 8th after being charged by the New York City District Attorney. Now, just earlier in the year, Majors was on top of the world, the other side of the headlines, having a standout 2023 with Creed 3, Ant-Man 3, grossing a combined $745 million worldwide. Bad news just keeps rolling in for the actor. Just earlier in the week, as we said, the management team drops him, the publicist as well. However, 2.5 Men actor Charlie Sheen, and I do think this is a fair comparison, right? This was what Deadline put up for their little ticker at the top of the website. So 2.5 Men actor Charlie Sheen, who has surely a tumultuous history riddled with domestic violence, substance abuse, and a host of legal struggles, just announced yet another TV show. Seems Charlie Sheen has never stopped working. Always on the A-list, no matter what he does. In fact, I think they crave it when he does bad things, allegedly. Some proven. In casting news, sure to make headlines and turn How to Be a Bookie instantly into one of the most anticipated new series of the year. Sheen is set for a recurring role in the single-camera comedy headlined by Sebastian Maniscalco. Hails from 2.5 Men studio, Warner Brothers Television, which also means that even when you mess up with Warner Brothers, if you're Charlie Sheen, they'll have you back. And I can't wait to have reports about the contract and the money that he's going to make on this. It's going to be huge, I'm sure. So now let's just take a look at some of the other headlines involving Sheen, though, over the years, because there's so many to get into. They go on. Charlie Sheen arrested for domestic violence. Charlie Sheen to Denise Richards. I am going to sever your head and mail it to your father. That's interesting. Wow. Charlie Sheen sued for assault, sexual battery by dental technician. Charlie Sheen's wife claims knife threat and assault. Landing the role on Chuck Lorre's How to Be a Bookie comes 12 years after Lorre's dramatic falling out with the 2.5 Men star, where Sheen's public meltdown, verbal attacks led to Lorre's firing. Now the two have reunited and they seem to be back in business again. And so, Bennie, I'm all for people finding their way back to each other, falling in love again even. Do whatever you want to do. I make no conclusion, draw no conclusion about Jonathan Majors and what did or didn't happen in that car in New York City with the woman. I know what it looks like, and some things seem like textbook, okay? And I'll put a period after textbook and won't insert another word. Hollywood, just like the rest of society, it just seems like there's this, unequal treatment. What say you?
No, 100%. And it's all part of really this larger trend. So first and foremost, there's just this selective accountability that is constantly pushed in our society, right? There's a selective accountability. It's especially predominant in Hollywood And you'll notice that certain features, I mean, let's be real. If you're privileged and you're white, like you're going to have a million people who are like bending over backwards saying, oh, what about a redemption arc? What about can't people have character growth in these things? And this is actually where I kind of want to get into like a lot of people really like just absolutely mangle and abuse like abolitionist frameworks and like theoretically progressive language on how we work towards accountability in like non-carceral forms. What people always forget about like an abolitionist framework when it comes to justice and like restorative justice, rehabilitative justice, is that the first step is always somebody being removed from any potential position of power that they could possibly use to be harmful in one way or another. If you are not doing that, then there's no rest of the process that can even reasonably happen. If people are allowed to hold the positions of power that they have, well, then they're allowed to continue to cause harm to other people. And so they aren't going to have like the real incentives to actually change their behavior, to actually grow as people and have actual like reconciliation. And so that's one of those things where you'll notice, right, that some people, when it comes to accountability, get the book thrown at them. And then other people, you have people who just want to completely, immediately jump to, oh, what about rehabilitation? What about a personal growth and all these things? And it's just very, very frustrating to see language from theoretically like progressive movements, right, to see language that is quite literally just taken out of the mouths of abolitionists and then twisted in such a way to actively support white supremacist aims.
You make so many valid points with this selective, accountability. I don't know that Charlie Sheen, Bennie ever got a timeout unless it was self-imposed. Remember when he was like standing on top of buildings talking about tiger blood and, whoever he was arguing with. But some of this stuff is really serious. It's really serious. And it doesn't sound like Hollywood ever slapped him down. Do you think that because he's also a Nepo baby that, Martin Sheen is beloved and seems like a decent guy from, outside looking in, this is his son? And so did that perhaps save him? Because Johnny Depp would say, well, I was blackballed from some things. I got strong feelings about that one too, but I'll let you talk.
I don't know who Martin Sheen is. I don't know.
I love you. Okay. I love you. Okay. And somebody, we've got this crack, Dr. Richey has this crack investigative team behind the scenes, and they're good for information. But didn't Martin Sheen play the president or something on that show? They'll get us the answer. Martin Sheen is a beloved Hollywood star. I'm getting a thumbs up. And he played in whatever that series was, but it was wildly popular. I didn't watch it. Surely you didn't either. Okay. But this is why I love you. Suffice to say, when your daddy's on the A-list in Hollywood, that could maybe have an effect on whether you receive any comeuppance. No? I don't know who Martin Sheen is. I love it.
But yeah, definitely having A-lister parents, I think, can carry you a long way.
Oh, you're beautiful. I just think you want to move on, don't you? Well, let's move on. It's okay. It's okay. We'll keep seeing how this Jonathan Majors story plays out and if he'll ever work again. And I think that's a fair question at this point. Will he ever work again? And then do some of the comparisons. Well, I'm not advocating for him to get something or to not be pulled from something. I'm just saying, is Hollywood fair? No.